ICE is completely out of control, and anyone who's denied that is either willfully ignorant or they're just living in a completely different reality than the rest of us. One of the biggest incidences that took place this year, literally a week into the year, was back in January 7 when an ICE agent named Jonathan Ross killed a US citizen named Renee Good. We all saw the viral video, and I can play some parts of it, and I'll try to like skimp out on the part where, this video might get flagged or anything like that.
Go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Out of the car. Get out of the fucking car. Get out of the car.
Whoa! Okay, so after watching that video, everyone kind of split into two camps. You have a camp that literally saw the video for what it actually was. Somebody who is, we can all agree, defied the officer's command and did not get out of the car. But we can see her literally just reversing back and then moving forward after tilting the car to the other side. Some people are saying, no, that's not what happened. What happened was that is a rogue citizen who tried to run over an agent who's trying to enforce the law. Whether that is the case or not, we're going to see what the courts say about this whole thing once this case is taken to court and it's all processed. But what's interesting is that if we all just like put political beliefs to the side and just watch the video for what it actually is, we can see literally the lady reversing back the car a little bit. And we can see her prior, like there's a longer version as well that showcases her allowing people to actually pass by, where she signals to people and says, move forward, and she just lets people pass by, right? And then we can see her just reversing the car back and then tilting the car to the side. Not only that, but we can also see the agent just circulating the car, taking his phone out and just comfortably just filming her, right? And we have literally the footage from his point of view, which is the footage that they're using to say that, look, she was trying to run him over. And the lady is very calm, she's very chill. We can see her also speaking. She's very calm and she's just saying, no, I'm not mad, I'm not angry, all of the hell it is that she was saying. And soon after, she reverses and then tries to tilt back. The officer, we can see him in the video as well, and I'll try to focus on that, pulls his gun out, shoots one shot at her from the front window by the driver's seat side, and then shoots the other two shots from the side mirror or from the side window. If it was the case that she was going to run him over, why is it that all the shots did not actually hit from the front? We can say, well, because she hit him from the side, but okay, no problem. What is the agent to begin with doing in front of the car when DHS literally has a policy that says that agents are not supposed to be standing in front of vehicles when whether they're parked or not? There's a safety measure taken by agents and the DHS department as a collective to say that, listen, for your safety and for the safety of the other officers, just don't be standing in front of a vehicle, right? Stationary or not. And this point is extremely important for the people that are saying, well, she had no business just defying the officer's commands. Well, I agree. We can say that that was like illegal, right? She was not supposed to defy the officer's command. But what is the officer doing in front of a vehicle that is already on? The car was not turned off and it was not parked. There's a driver inside the car and he's just standing and circulating the car very comfortably, as you can see. We could all put that aside and say, well, it was just things were moving too fast, it was moment's notice. How were things handled post the shooting? What happened afterwards? We literally have them in footage refusing to check up on the woman to see if she's alive or not, see if she needs CPR or not, which, by the way, agents are actually trained to give CPR, and none of that happened. We had a footage showcasing an actual physician, a doctor, who was in the area and said, I am a physician, let me go check up on her. They said, no, we don't care.
Can I go check a pulse?
No! Back up! Now!
I'm a physician!
I don't care!
We literally have the ICE agents saying to a physician who says, I am a physician, let me check up on her pulse, saying, we don't care, back up. If we grant every single argument from the ICE supporters' point of view, and we say she was impeding on the investigation, she was being a disruptive citizen, all that kind of good stuff, does any of that justify the post-shooting behavior from the ICE point of view? Does any of that justify that? When did it become okay for agents that are trained in CPR and trained in first aid activities, right, to have a citizen or any individual for that matter that's bleeding to death right in front of them, and they just stand there and watch and tell people to stay away? And you have a physician that comes up and says, listen, I'm a physician, let me check up on her and see what the hell is going on. And they say, we don't care, we have medics on the way. We don't care is their reaction. We literally have somebody in the footage screaming, I don't know if it's an agent or not, screaming effing B word about the person that they had just shot.
Fucking bitch.
So tell me, does that sound to you like somebody who just like was protecting themselves and they just like felt like their life was in danger? Or does it feel like somebody who's being vindictive and just wanted to kill a US citizen? Now, how did the DHS and the vice president and the American government react to this whole thing? Few hours after the incident or a day after the incident, immediately labeled her a domestic terrorist before any investigation is done or before anything comes out. And we have the vice president saying she brought this upon herself. Bro, what?
I can believe that her death is a tragedy while also recognizing that it's a tragedy of her own making.
We don't even have any of the facts out, and we have the Department of Justice and the vice president immediately antagonizing the person and deeming her to be faulty and wrong in what she has done, and that she deserved what happened to her. Dude, do we not have due process? Are we not going to see what exactly happened afterwards? What is the difference between the DHS and the vice president and anybody else for that matter who's on the opposite side who are saying this is murder, and the people that are saying no, this is domestic terrorist, when no court, nothing legal has happened yet, nobody has processed anything? Why is the vice president and the current administration immediately reacted in a way that antagonizes the individual who has just died by an agent? Could you guys imagine what would have happened if this literally happened during the Biden administration? They would have immediately just went nuts about this whole thing, saying, oh, they're targeting us. They're already screaming about white genocide right now. Could you imagine how they would have reacted if a agent or a DI agent has killed a US citizen, a white US citizen? Good God. And it turns out that this Jonathan Ross guy who had shot her is actually somebody with extensive training and has a very long history serving in the DHS, and he used to be in Border Patrol, and he has, I think, Army background. So the guy knows his way around guns. He knows his way around just de-escalation, and if he served in the Army, then he knows that the burden of performance for them is typically higher than it is for police officers and things like that. But yet he is poorly trained, and he just instinctively pulled his gun out while holding a phone with the other hand and just shot someone. As it turns out, ICE actually has a very low barrier of entry, and anybody can become an ICE agent within like 6 minutes or so. Here we have a journalist named Laura Jade, I think her name was? Yeah, her name is Laura Jadid. And we can play the video of her speaking and how she essentially was hired within 6 minutes with no background search and nothing at all. Let's watch the video.
They were promising on-the-spot hiring to where you could, in fact, walk out with your $50,000 bonus that day, possibly. I went in, I handed in my resume, which was, I did a skills-based resume. I'm a veteran. I served 2 tours in Afghanistan. So on the surface, the resume looked pretty good. Had a very brief interview, took all of 6 minutes. They didn't ask very many questions. And then I left, assuming I would never hear back, because I'm a very Googleable person. I have an unusual name. I'm the only Laura Jadid on the internet. And I make no secret of how I feel about ICE and Trump and all of it. So I was not expecting several days later to receive a tentative offer. I missed it in my inbox and it sunk to the bottom, which means that I never filled out the paperwork they requested. I never accepted the tentative offer. I never filled out my background check paperwork. I never signed the affidavit saying I committed no domestic violence crimes, none of it. A few weeks later, I got a message from LabCorp saying that ICE wanted me to do a drug test, and I went ahead and did that. I was pretty sure I wouldn't pass. I'd partaken in legal cannabis 6 days before the test, but why not waste some of their money, right? And then 9 days after that, I decided I wanted to, I was curious, had they processed the drug test yet? So I logged onto the ICE hiring portal, and what I found was that not only did the drug test not seem to be relevant, I was listed as having joined ICE as of 3 days earlier. I had listed that I had accepted the offer. They had offered me a final position as a deportation officer. My background check was listed as completed 3 days in the future from when I was looking at it. So it seems like the answer to the question, who are they hiring, is they don't know. I mean, it's very funny that...
So if this is actually true, then we literally have a gang of people who may have backgrounds in domestic violence or have background in actual, just all types of crazy stuff, just being hired after 6 minutes of an interview and no drug test, no background search, nothing at all. And they can walk away possibly same day with a $50,000 bonus, and they get to essentially with impunity kill US citizens and just go around arresting people. Could you imagine what would this look like if we lived anywhere else on the planet? We've called that place a backwards country, third world behavior, all types of crazy stuff. But we have a current administration that allows agents who have such insane power right now, who are protected by the vice president and an entire federal department, DHS in this case, who are essentially just hiring anybody from the streets. That is the barrier of entry to become an ICE agent right now. So any hooligan can just become an ICE agent. Let's take a look at some numbers as to how things are going right now under the current administration and the current ICE department. So the total deaths in ICE detention facilities as of 2025 is 30 to 32 people have completely died. And deaths from immigration agent shootings in 2025 is about 4 people who have currently died. And shooting incidences by immigration agents in that period ranges from 16 to 17 incidents of shootings. This literally marks the deadliest year for ICE ever. What I want to tie this whole thing back to is the idea that nobody is against taking criminals out. Nobody's against going after people who are breaking the law and just are being just a menace in society. However, when you have an agency whose agents are being hired willy-nilly with no background research or nothing at all, and they have with impunity the ability to kill US citizens and be completely protected by the current administration, and we have a death toll of over 30 people that have just died in detention facilities, 16 plus shooting incidents. The question becomes, what the hell is going on? What happened to the law and order? What happened to making sure things are being done correctly? What happened to any of that? But I don't know. What do you guys think about this whole thing? Do you think this is going overboard? Are things going to get worse? What do you think about the case with Renee Good? And yeah, let me know what you guys think about this whole thing in a comment down below, and let's have a conversation about it. See you guys on the next one.